preparing live stream already. Okay, we're probably, oh yes, we're on.
Oh, okay.
My name is,
Oh,
are we good? We're
oh, I can hear you now. Now I can hear you.
It had a glitch, but I think we're back. So my name's Mandy and I'm with COVID Recovery Iowa, and I have Wendy with me, who is also with COVID Recovery Iowa. And she is a certified play therapist with Pathways Behavioral Services in our Waverly office. And I feel fortunate that we have her with us today because she has a very busy schedule. So supervising our staff and taking phone calls and seeing clients and coordinating all kinds of things. So appreciate you, Wendy, being here with us today. I'm just going to start it out with, it's a hectic time for parents, I think. Wendy's a parent, I'm a parent, and this back to school coordinating things and scheduling things is a bit stressful, and throw in a pandemic and some uncertainties with that. And it can be a little intense.
It is. Parenting and managing a family is incredibly busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think probably one of the number one things I tell parents is that you have to prioritize it if it's important to you.
Yeah.
That if building that family relationship is important, because people come in and they're like, we didn't have time to get to that homework that we were, the therapy homework we were supposed to do. And we didn't have time to, have dinner together. We didn't have time. And it's like, well, what's more important is, because it ultimately comes down to you put your money where your mouth is. If you having a solid family relationships and connections with your kids and your spouse and all of that is really important, then maybe some nights you don't go to soccer. You just say, oh yeah, tonight we're going to have family meal. We're not going to soccer. Which is more important, which is going to benefit your kids and your family in the long run more. One more soccer practice or having dinner together.
Yeah.
And so it's prioritizing. And so it really is what's important to you.
Yeah. I mean, excellent advice for myself too. Some days, I feel like it's head down and just, one thing after another and getting it done. And sometimes it takes a request or two by one of my kids or even my husband. We sat down and we've been doing these pass around drawings. How it got started, I'm not really sure, but at like 9 o'clock last night, we probably should have been in bed, but boy, it was good for us. It was like our moment, because we didn't have dinner together. It didn't happen for us last night, but we did have that like 25 minutes of connecting while we were sitting down and doing some drawing. So and just trying to figure out the scheduling for this coming year. Especially if you have multiple kids, and trying to figure out what's doable and fit it all in, and still trying to connect somehow and have good communication and not be overly stressed.
Yeah, it's that deciding that it's important. And some families are like, well, we're never home at the same time. How do because one of the big things is that family meal. I always think the family meal is really, really important. But as busy modern families, we tend to sacrifice the family meal, for McDonald's in the car on the way to soccer and dance and whatnot. And so I'm like, if you just can't do the family meal, then look at other options. Maybe it's, one kid has already eaten and the other one is, had a snack earlier and they're not hungry. And it's like, well, can you spend 5 minutes at the table together, or 5 minutes seeing pretzel legs on the floor and, doing silly questions. I know you, Mandy, you post those really fun questions on Facebook about, ask your kids what kind of superhero they want to be or something like that. But you can, do a 5-minute Uno game. You can do a pass around drawing, those things. I mean, if your kids are asking to do their pass around drawing, that tells you that's
They,
where you're filling them up. That's
yeah,
what's important to them.
yeah,
So society tends to make us feel guilty if we're not in soccer, basketball, and dance classes. Well, they have to have dance, they have to have piano. I'm like, well, they're nice to have, but ultimately you have to prioritize, and spending 10 minutes at a family meal table, or 10 minutes sitting and playing a game together or doing a puzzle together, those things fill your kids up in incredible ways.
I think there's a real importance in device free too,
Mhm.
whether that's those 5 minutes or the meal together or whatever. Can be just as hard for parents as it is your teenagers or whoever has those phones and stuff, but turn the TV off, put the devices away, focus on each other just for a
Yeah.
little bit of time. It's it really is important and really helpful. And the list can get long. So I think I mean, I need to take my own advice, but saying no to some things would be good. We hear that a lot, but um,
There's a lot of guilt if you say no, it's
yeah,
like, well, he's such a good football player and he's so good at it, so how can we tell him he can't play it? I'm like, well, you're telling him he can't do football and cross country, or we're telling him he can't do football and soccer, or he it's setting a limit as to how many activities they can have, and that the time that you have together, if it's limited, that you're making sure to be mindful of that time, that you're not just all sitting around on your screens, that maybe you have a screen free half hour, and just see what happens. Maybe you don't even have a planned activity, but maybe you say, from 7 to 8, no one has screens in our house. See what
Mhm.
happens. People
Yeah,
will be surprised with the other activities their kids pull out, the fact that they start talking to each other a bit more. I'm just not saying you don't get to have any screens, but you're saying, hey, for this half hour, this hour, all our screens are turned off. And that includes the adults, because
yeah.
us adults are as addicted to them as the kids are. And so, if your kid comes up and plops next to you on the couch and you're sitting there with your iPad, take your iPad and set it off to the side. Don't try to talk to them while you're, scrolling or doing a game or something like that. Set it aside. That's hard to do, but we have to be mindful of, hey, my kid actually came and sat down beside me. I should put this electronic down.
Yeah. I guarantee if you tell your kids that if they've been on devices for hours straight and all of a sudden you say, the next hour we're going to be device free, it is not going to be an easy moment. It will be a
No.
transitional time where it will take time for them to get those creative juices flowing again on what else is there to do. There is a lot
There's
of other
nothing to
things to
do.
do.
It's
Oh
boring.
yeah. I have heard that before too, but
Mhm.
within, it will be maybe a miserable several minutes, but and if you I like to prep them too, like
Yeah.
10 o'clock, we're turning this off or whatever, that helps too, but it doesn't always happen as smoothly as it could or I'd like it to, but important to turn those devices off sometimes. So, okay, how about I'm thinking about the school year and you know routines or what can we do to help prepare ourselves for the school year and just our well-being revolving around that transition. I'm thinking about routines being important and
Mhm.
that's going to be difficult for us too. We stay up later in the summer just because we enjoy that daylight.
Yeah. And get all the outside time while you possibly can. Building up those vitamin D out in the sunshine for us Iowa winter people.
Yeah.
That's huge. So, this is our last hurrah. Get out there and get that sunshine. And
Yeah.
having the kids practice their schedule and routine ahead of time is really important. If you're going to pack lunches, practice packing those lunches. If you have to get up, really early, practice getting up really early, just so that they know, what's going to be happening. If they're changing schools, if your school doesn't have an open house, make sure you drive by. Or if they're able to walk or bike, practice walking or biking to school. all those things that can kind of help them prepare.
Yeah, if they have a playground, you could go take your little one and play on the playground. Some are
Yeah,
open, some are not, I guess. I have seen some that are state gated, but if you're able to do that, that's a great
yeah.
opportunity to get them excited about going. Um, and just opportunity to try it out, I think is good. Might decrease that stress. Um, what else about going back to school? Oh, you could check out if people have ideas on, I'll go back to that spending time with each other, especially as schedules get more and more busy with the school year. But if you have ideas on how to carve out 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever's doable for your family. We talked about the pass around drawing. We talked about sitting around the dinner table. But if there's other cool things that your families do, if you put those in the comments, that would be really helpful to other families. Wendy and I have ideas on what have worked for us and what have worked maybe for some clients, but that's not the be all end all. So, but okay, back to that getting ready for school. So, and wanting families to be as healthy as possible when we go back to school, mentally healthy as possible. So routines, start practicing those sooner than later, get familiar with the school as much as you can, maybe email a teacher if you've got your teacher assignment. We did our back to school supply shopping already. I can't believe it.
Yay! I love the
Yeah.
smell of crayons. You know, one of the things that people don't think about is if you're going to a local community school that's, near your home, within a mile of your home, one of the things that there's research out there is really cool that kiddos that get morning exercise by either walking or biking to school, their school readiness is at a huge different level from those kids that get dropped off, that, ride a bus or any of those sorts of things. So, consider how far are you from the school? Could you realistically walk it? So the first few weeks you walk with your kiddo and, hey, this is the way to school. And I know people get really, kind of worried about, someone's going to snatch my kid. But the reality is the world, we hear about all the scary stuff, but the scary stuff happens at a lower rate than people ever think it does. And so appropriately having your kid walk to school, maybe they walk with a friend or maybe they have an adult. There's even communities out there that have walking school buses, which I absolutely love. My aunt's community in Indiana has a walking school bus, and they have an adult that walks through each community and they pick up the kids, and they all then walk as a large group of 20 or 30 kids to the school. And in the process, the kids have gotten, a 20 or 30-minute walk in before school. So they are more ready to learn than their peers who don't, that have to go to school and stand in line before school.
There is a real balance between practicing some of those independent skills and keeping them safe and preparing them to be adults. If we don't give them the opportunity to walk with a friend to school at an appropriate age, we might be doing a disservice as far as preparing them for adulthood. They got to practice those skills. So, make sure it's age appropriate, make sure they have a buddy, they aren't doing it by themselves. I just had this idea. What if I live out in the country?
Guess you're not walking.
Well, maybe not walking, but I could certainly give myself enough time, drive into town, park in a certain spot, and we could all walk. Would that not do me some good too?
Yeah.
I could walk them up to the drop off spot and walk.
When my kids were little, my favorite thing, and my kid will tell you, when he was 4, we walked up to daycare every morning. And seriously, the daycare was 4 blocks away. It would have been just as easy for me to drop him in the car and head to work. But we walked to daycare every day, and he's 21. He's 21 next week. And he still talks about, do you remember when we used to walk up to Boulevard and remember when this happened and that happened? And I'll be like, oh, I have no clue. I don't remember that. But he still remembers those, 10-minute walks to preschool when he was 4. Those were huge for him.
And a relationship builder. Is that who you
and a relationship builder. 10 minutes walking to school. It was minor in my day. It made my day start about 15 minutes later, but we walked. And it meant the world to him. He loved it. So, yeah. So
well, there's
driving everywhere. But
here. Lynn says, This is good information for grandparents to hear as well. Danielle says good suggestions. Great idea about walking to school. But pick out our own school supplies. Yeah, you know what? That is a huge. I take 3 kids school supply shopping, and it can be a little bit. They're totally excited and love every minute of it. For me, it's a little bit. Got to take some breathers, but they, you know, within our price range, I let them pick out certainly different colors of folders and stuff, and that really personalized it, makes it fun, and gets them jazzed for the school year. So that's it's good stuff.
School can be quite anxiety
Well,
provoking
any
and
other?
stressful.
Yeah, it can for parents and kids. I think just the whole
Mhm.
preparation of all of it. And then we get in a groove, hopefully. And if you can't seem to figure out that groove, if you need help, that's what COVID Recovery Iowa and Pathways is here for. COVID Recovery Iowa provides that free crisis counseling support. And if you need additional support after that, then we can make referrals to your community to places like Pathways. So covidrecoveryiowa.org is where you can submit a request for assistance. So thanks, Wendy, for taking time
You
out of your
bet.
busy
Thanks,
day
Mandy.
connecting with us. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.